Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, to another night of NGS. We're doing a replay cast tonight. It is actually technically the first night of playoffs in season 11. I cannot believe we're already here, but most of the matches were going on earlier in the evening. Nothing was scheduled for the late slate, so I decided I would throw up a playoff potential implication match that went on last night in Division B West between Spooky Ghosts and the LaCroix boys. Now, I know the LaCroix boys were, I believe, eliminated from playoffs already, but Spooky Ghosts, I think they came into this at that number 7 or 8 spot, but they're looking to rise a couple. They had potential to rise up a couple more ranks, get a more favorable spot for the rest of their playoff run here. So, I think if they lose, they may get out. If they win, or I don't think they get out. I think they get that like number 8 seed. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't actually looked at any of the brackets except my own because I knew with the first few days there could be some replay casts that need to be done. So I tried to pick up the playoff ones that have implications. So I don't want to spoil it for myself, don't want to spoil it for everyone else out there either. We've got ourselves a series coming up tonight. I just know there's playoffs on the line. So let's get you guys over to the maps so you can see what's going to transpire in this series going on tonight. Spooky Ghosts banned out Braxis Holdout, and they also banned out Tomb of the Spider Queen. LaCroix boys, they banned out Alteric Pass, and they banned out Dragonshire. That left one map available that I definitely haven't been able to cast a lot of. We just haven't seen it a lot, and that's 2 Hours of Doom, which was picked up. I don't know which team actually picked it up. It doesn't tell me in the replay file who actually picked the map, so not entirely sure who gets there, but and so who gets first pick. But what we'll do is we'll jump into, or at least I'll try and load up this game number 1 so we can get it going. You guys can see, and we'll look at the team comps as we load in and when we first get in, and we'll go from there. So let me pull up game number 1, Spooky Ghosts versus LaCroix boys, going to Towers of Doom to kick things off. Let me get you guys, you'll get a black screen there just for a second, and then we will get into the map screen. And looking at some of these compositions that do come out, let me get a pause once we get these team comps in here so we can see what's going to happen. So looking on the side of blue team, we got Spooky Ghosts over here. We have Hogger, Malthael, Uther, Gul'dan, and Malfurion comp. So double support coming out, which is this is one of those maps that do actually favor double support if you can get a very, very good double soaker that can also be a bruiser, and that is going to be your Hogger. So the Spooky Ghosts do have the Hogger, who will be in that top and mid lane, going to rotate very quickly between the two and able to clear out those waves pretty fast. Malthael could do it too. I guess it could be either one, but I guess with the Hogger having a little more crowd control than the Malthael, he may go to the bot lane. I'll be curious to see which one they decide to put where. I anticipate it to be the Hogger. The Malthael will try to be in the bot lane, but Hogger also has a CC utility, so we'll see which one goes to the bot lane. Uther, Gul'dan, Malfurion, they're going to be able to use Gul'dan to just poke down safely from range in that bot lane, get everybody kind of low, use the Uther and Malfurion to keep, I'm guessing now it's going to be the Hogger and the Gul'dan topped off, and then once the fight tends to break out, they'll utilize that Hogger to kind of bounce around, cause chaos, see if they can get many people low over these lower structure objective fights. So that's the plan coming out for Spooky Ghosts. They will be able to handle early game for sure with the double healer. Looking at the side of LaCroix boys, we got a Tracer coming in. Interesting to note, Tracer was banned from competitive play for this game. If there's a vehicle on the map, there is no vehicle, so Tracer is fully available to get on this map, and she can also be used as long as doesn't go in the vehicle with a specific talent. But we got Gazlo, Diablo, Sylvanas, and Stukov rounding it out. So we've got a very powerful Wombo-esque combo coming out from the side of LaCroix boys. So they're waiting for their 10s to come online. Don't have the strongest early game. They've got to be very careful around this early game. Diablo, one of the weaker tanks in the early game, going to get stronger as his souls get stacked. Gazlo's not going to be in the rotation, so they're really using the Sylvanas and Tracer to do a lot of damage, but that direct stun from the Uther going to do a lot to shut Tracer down. Stukov is going to be able to get the silence to keep any type of follow-up play potential coming in from the Gul'dan or the Hogger, but and he's got the burst healing, and then Sylvanas, she's just going to be able to provide that burst burst damage until level 10 when she will be able to get into the double healer. I'm curious if she is going to go that mind control with all these squishy targets, just set somebody up for Diablo to kind of flip over to the team knock back. But when 10s come online, that's when LaCroix boys team comp will come online with all those ultimates. So being able to wombo that grab bomb into the APOC using the Wailing Arrow on top of it, Stukov Puddle of Doom, and then just blow them all up. So let's get this game underway and get these two teams introduced. On the blue side, we have Spooky Ghost. We got Little Wolf sitting on the Malfurion. We got Kaleidos sitting on the Malthael. We got Boundary X on the Gul'dan. We got Rogoth on the Uther, and we have Eric Withak on the Hogger. Meanwhile, on the red side, we got the LaCroix boys. We got Harambe 2016 on the Gazla, Oni on the Diablo, Walter White sitting on that Sylvanas, Striker 13 on that Tracer, and we got Baja Blaster sitting on that Stukov. Looking at these talents, Malfurion taking that extra sleep at level 1, going to be able to put a lot more crowd control down. Gul'dan going with the Drain, going to be able to keep himself sustained against that Tracer, not going to want to go down without a fight there. And then we do got Uther stacking up the Q, so he's going to get a little bit more healing there. Going to be able to put some damage as well when he gets that Q stack finished off there and be able to do some damage with it as well. But it is going to be that Hogger as suspected going into the 4-man. Tracer taking a fair bit of damage here in the early game, can get easily punished again by that Uther stun, so we've got to be careful if we're Striker on getting too close to the Uther. Uther, his main job is just keep Tracer at bay, and they really don't have any kill potential outside of a Diablo stun into a wall. But we got an aggressive rotation coming in from the LaCroix boys. Tracer, there's the stun. Gul'dan immediately popping the Drain live, now trying to get away, but a beautiful flip by the Diablo catches the Gul'dan in a rotation. Gul'dan getting down to about half health, but that double support going to be able to heal him up nicely. A big stun coming in from the Uther on the Stukov, getting a little too far ahead there, and that is going to be the Stukov falling first blood going over to the side of Spooky Ghost. Sometimes those champions can just get caught up, or heroes, sorry, get caught up a little bit on trying to finish off some of these targets, not recognizing the double support healing potential coming out from Spooky Ghost. You get somebody down to quarter health, like we got him, and all of a sudden they're back up to full, especially a Gul'dan who can use the Drain Life to help with that healing as well. Suddenly you're like, oh, we got Gul'dan, never mind, he's all the way at full health, we've got no way to kill him, and then the return kill onto the Stukov is big. But here we go, we got Uther getting flipped by the Diablo, but the sleep gonna come in big, put Diablo down, and the Hogger just has to walk himself away there. Stun coming from the Uther, he's staying pretty aggressive here, even though he's got no health. The silence pool goes down, Tracer's committing to this kill, but the healing coming in. Uther does eventually trade his life, but Gul'dan able to pick up the Sylvanas in the backline. Hogger trying to see if he can get the Stukov there as well, but Stukov gonna walk himself away. The flip onto the Malfurion puts him on the north side, and Tracer now gonna try and hunt down the Malfurion. Lands the bomb, lands the punch, but doesn't have quite enough to finish off the Malfurion. Able to get himself away, and Tracer gonna have to live to fight another day here. Force coming online for both teams. Uther getting some very big stacks in that queue, already up to 59 there. And so he's going to have to continue to get that finished off. I think he needs 21 more to be able to get that quest finalized there. And then he's going to be able to just cause so much chaos. Diablo getting stunned out in the spot lane, but he gets the flip onto the Uther. I don't know if he necessarily wanted to get Uther closer to his backline there. Uther able to get himself away, but Gul'dan, look at the damage he's able to put down with the corruption. Diablo just falls. Tracer and Stukov have no way of getting away. Gul'dan getting big damage in that fight. Massive value coming out of Boundary there, and that is why you do not want to fight Gul'dan in a choke point. Thankfully, he didn't go the corruption at level 1. That could have been so much more devastating when he got that finished, but he's going to be able to sustain very nicely against the Tracer, so it's a smart pickup with that level 1 talent. Sylvanas actually going to go up, try to keep Malthael off. They're giving up the bottom objective, but the rest of the side of Spooky Ghost, they're just hard committing to this bot tower, and this is going to be potentially a 3-minute tower pickup by the side of Spooky Ghost. I don't think that's going to be one of the fastest tower pickups I've ever seen. We did see a stun going down on the Gul'dan with the silence pool, and so that is Gul'dan actually falling. They did not finish the rest of that tower off, so that is actually 2 shots to 1 in favor of the side of LaCroix boys. So they get the early lead, but at what cost? This tower is just a sneeze away from falling down, and that's all that is really needed on a map like Towers of Doom. You get that bot tower and you just park it there, defend it as a team and it's really tough for a team to come back once you've already got that. Now, they do have on the side of the Croix boys the level 10 talent advantage when they get there. You know, they'll have that wombo combo, so it's always the potential, but a big pick coming down onto Malthael here. Good knockback by the Diablo, and then the silence puddle by Stukov was devastating, but they trade a kill for a tower. That's Mac pressure going in favor of the side of Spooky Ghost, and now they just need to wait the 8 seconds until Malthael is back alive, and they will get themselves in a very good position here. Tracer got to be a little bit careful. Gul'dan now has the slow attached to it, but Uther getting stunned out and gets flipped back by Oni, and that is going to be a dead Uther, and now the rest of the team is on the hunt. They don't have the double support, the sleep going down onto the Stukov, and the Tracer actually taking some fair bit of damage from the Gul'dan there. You know, if Tracer, it's really going to come down to this Gul'dan Uther versus Tracer kind of matchup. If they can catch the Tracer, this is going to be just fight already done for the Croix boys. But if Tracer can keep being that pesky Tracer, get herself barely away, Stukov will be able to heal her up. But and then we are going to see the Croix boys kind of taking some pretty good fights here once the 10s come online. But they're able to get their tower back, actually have a slight experience lead. The kills are 4 apiece. Diablo rotating up with the rest of the team. We may see a fight transpire here. I would anticipate the side of the Croix boys would be like, hey, let's just wait till 10s. You know, we're not quite there. If we can do a gentleman's trade, that would be ideal for us in this scenario. The side of blue do not want that to happen, but it will. Gentleman's agreement, both being shot at the exact same time. Both towers taking 4 shots apiece. Cores, excuse me, taking 4 shots apiece. And everybody else going to go ahead and soak up their 10s, waiting for the 10s to come online for the next big fight. But big push coming down in the bot lane for the side of Spooky Ghost. They have the Sapper Camp already pushing in, getting some damage with that Sapper Camp. Big value, and now they just need to finish the rest of it with the Gul'dan. Gul'dan being one of the better siege mages out of the compositions. Definitely a good choice on a map like Towers of Doom. Malthael going to go back to that double soaking lane with the Gazlo also being in the top lane. So 10's online, we can see what's going down. Sticky bomb by the Tracer. Diablo throwing down the APOC, looking for the catch on Uther, doesn't quite land the combo there. Tracer committing to the Gul'dan, but look at this, Gul'dan able to just heal himself back up. Twilight Dream popped by the Malfurion there, gonna be able to heal everybody back up. A big corruption onto the Diablo sends him right into tower aggro, and that's gonna be Diablo going down. Stukov actually got slept by the Malfurion, tries to use the flailing swipes to get himself to safety here. Uther trying to catch up to get a stun onto the Stukov. Don't believe he will be able to get in there, but he might catch the Sylvanas. Looking for the stun, isn't able to find it yet. Gul'dan trying to slow the Tracer down, make sure she cannot get away. Diablo is back due to the fact that he was fully soul stacked up. I do believe I said Twilight Dream. It is actually Tranquility by the Malfurion. Twilight Dream is the silence, Tranquility is the heal. I switched those two up. Apologies for everybody there. But ooh, Tracer getting stunned out and drained out here, dropping the bombs, and now going to get herself back to safety here. Looking at the rest of these ultimates, though, we got Gap Bomb coming in from the Gazlo, the flailing swipes we saw from the Stukov, the Wailing Arrow from the Sylvanas, and the APOC by the Diablo. Meanwhile, on the side of Spooky Ghost, we got the Hortipult coming in from the Hogger. We've got the Tormented Souls by the Malthael instead of the No One Can Stop, or the Last Rites. We've got the Divine Shield coming in from the Uther, Horrified by the Gul'dan, and we have, as seen before by the Malfurion, that Tranquility. But we do see Tracer 1v1ing the Malthael and going to be actually able to pick him up. Sylvanas able to get a little bit of assist there. The Root and Sleep go down. Diablo hard to pull all the way to the backline by the Hogger, trying to find that kill, but does not have the stun available. Getting it stunned, getting it flipped, pops the D shield onto the Hogger, able to get himself away, but a beautifully timed cleanse onto the Malfurion there from the Uther. Uther coming in with a double save so far. Tracer actually gonna fall. Uther trading his life away for that, but everybody still is very healthy. We got low health bars on the side of the Croix boys, so if we can get this cooldown to pop off, we may get a return fight here. Hogger trying to get in, looking for the stun onto the Stukov, does not find it. Sylvanas very low on mana. Stukov almost out of mana. Gul'dan can tap himself back up full, but Gazlo is in. Here comes Malthael coming in. Cavalry has arrived. Gul'dan does go down. He's looking for the kill onto Stukov, exchanges it for the Gazlo instead. Hogger comes back to rejoin this fight. Sylvanas getting so low, trying to get herself away. We got 2 health low bars from the Stukov and the Gazlo. Sylvanas does fall down. Malfurion able to keep everybody alive somehow. And now Tracer has rejoined the batter. Player 3 has come online. Tracer actually getting stunned out by the Hogger there. The stun by the Uther. Tracer using the recall, but she should be able to bounce herself to safety. We do see her getting fairly low. Hogger needs one more auto attack. Does connect it. And so that is Tracer going to fall there. So close. Tracer was able to get them another stun by the Uther on to the Stukov, securing 2 kills. And big value. A 3rd kill going to go over. Oni can't go anywhere. He is completely body blocked. And that is going to be a 3rd kill onto the Diablo. So I think all in all that was a 5 for 2, but holy cow, that was just a super extended fight. The tower ended up going over to Spooky Ghost there, so they get the 4 core shots, now have lead on the core for the first time in this game, and importantly they are getting the sappers and a lot of pressure here in the bot lane with the Gul'dan, so they should be able to pick up this fort no problem. Actually, Sylvanas got to be very careful. Get stunned. A follow-up stun by the Uther. Look at the crowd control coming out of Spooky Ghost there, nicely timed, and that is going to be the reward of the tower. Nothing can stop that, and that will be another tower pickup by the side of Spooky Ghosts. Meanwhile, we've got Gazlo going ahead and sieging up against the Malthael. I believe he's doing pretty well in the experience there. 9,000, ooh no, 12,000. Malthael actually having a very good time in that lane. 3K lead coming out of the Malthael, and that's pretty much a good chunk of this experience now, having a level and a half lead there. And we get the root onto the Diablo. The sleep gonna follow Gul'dan, trying to get the drain. Doesn't do quite enough and has to back himself out. But Sylvanas did take the Banshees in rather aggressively there. Hogger turned around to try and find some sort of a fight. Meanwhile, the corruption is starting to spread on the side of the LaCroix boys. The defense is here, and we see the Hortipult going all the way in. Eric with that, gonna go man mode this one up. The stun going down onto the Sylvanas. The knockback from the Hogger secures that kill. Uther able to actually get the last tap. The fear coming down onto all 3 members, and a 2nd kill picked up by the side of Spooky Ghost. 2 kills to none right around this objective. That's going to be 5 tower shots and a potential boss play coming out from the side of Spooky Ghost. And they'll be able to pick up their own sapper camp as well. Gul'dan can just clear this out with 2 buttons. No problem at all. And we see the LaCroix boys slowly starting to get their lead. Well, their lead is gone, but slowly starting to fall further and further behind, looking for a potential pick play onto the Malthael. Malthael is just man-moding this one up, but the grab bomb is going to make sure that that doesn't happen. That is going to be a pick on the side of LaCroix boys, and now they are going to try and siege out this top lane with the 3 members, even up these towers, but the rest of Spooky Ghost say, fine, we'll siege up the mid lane. We know you don't have much there since you're all top. And now Sylvanas has arrived. Diablo has arrived as well. The rest of the team rotating down, and now we've got a 4v4 situation in the mid lane. Tracer getting stunned out by the Uther. Hogger looking for some sort of fight. The APOC does not connect. The flailing swipes puts everybody in the corner. That would have been a perfect time for the APOC. Just a little mistimed in the combination there. Tracer trying to get herself away. Diablo unfortunately cannot land any of these knockbacks that he's trying to get, and everybody's just being able to get healed by the Uther and the Malfurion there. Tracer getting so low. Hogger basically 1v3ing and trying to find a kill. Now has to run around. A big horrify both onto the Tracer and the Sylvanas. Gul'dan snacks one, gets the second one as well. 2 big picks by the Gul'dan. Now trying to find a 3rd in the Stukov. Stukov putting the silence pull down, and Gul'dan's like, sure, I'll keep draining your life. 3rd kill coming down, and now Diablo's in behind enemy lines with nobody else here, trying to figure out where the rest of his team went. Now out of mana, he's got to walk himself away. Hogger gonna make sure that doesn't happen. The crowd control is insane. Malthael comes down to secure that kill. 4 for 0 in favor of Spooky Ghost. Well done. Good team fight for them. The healing is just absolutely insane, and there's really no anti-healing so far on the side of the LaCroix boys, so that is what's hurting them more than anything right now. Looking for that Ana. I have no idea if the Ana was banned. I'm sure it was, but not able to get the Ana to negate some of this massive healing coming out from the Gul'dan and the Malfurion there. And that's going to be 2. This is going to be a potential triple cap by the side of Spooky Ghost. If Gul'dan can finish this off, this is game-winning condition right here for the side of Spooky Ghost. They just need to get this last tower. Hortipult going in deep, gets all 3. The knockback is not quite there, but he's going to bounce around like a Tasmanian devil. That is 1. That is the 2nd one onto the Stukov. Tracer is trying to do what she can, but Sylvanas back at the tower. Diablo just respawning, coming back now. That is going to be another tower pickup, but just like that, this game flipped on a dime, and Spooky Ghost able to use that bottom tower very efficiently and are gonna get the win here in game number 1. Wow. I mean, for how close that game was pre-10, it was a completely different game post-10. And I thought the post-10 was going to come in favor of the LaCroix boys. Like, they just needed to get the Gazlo in for some of these fights, land that APOC grab bomb combo, and Sylvanas and Tracer would be able to clean that up no problem. But they really never found the opportunity to do that. Gazlo was so far behind in the pressure that Malthael was putting down. He was trying to mimic it or match it and keep up with the experience, but Malthael was clearing so much faster that Gazlo just continued to fall further and further behind in that double soak game, allowing the experience to slowly grow for Spooky Ghost and keeping Gazlo pretty much out of these fights. So Gazlo either had to commit to really just abandoning the double soak and going in for a team fight, or just never joining the team for any fights there, trying to get as much soak as he can. Meaning the 4v4 without the grab bomb, you've lost a lot of your initiation ability, because Diablo now has to use the APOC, and as we saw in that last one, if he mistimes it and not able to get the APOC with his dive, he gets a no-man APOC. Stukov did a great job getting positioned to slap everybody into a corner, which would have been a great spot for an APOC, but Diablo had already used it. The Wailing Arrow doesn't get as much value if not everybody is grouped up. You can try and Wailing Arrow the Gul'dan to interrupt the drain that he's got going and keep Malfurion under, but ultimately, get that tranquility away. But ultimately, that was a big, well done by Spooky Ghost to keep that pressure up, not allowing the side of LaCroix boys to get together as 5, recognizing that their win condition was basically, let's just keep our 4 with their 4 and don't let that 5th one rotate down. Malthael's like, I got you, no problem. But big damage coming out of the Gul'dan. We saw how much those corruptions were actually doing there. Tracer not able to keep up in that damage, still putting out 49,000 in her own. Talents, for those who enjoy looking at the talent screens, we didn't make it to our level 20s, but Uther getting a lot of value off that silver touch, was able to complete it very, very, very quickly, which means that the Holy Light mana cost is reduced and he's able to use it on a much, much bigger range. In addition, he was able to utilize that with the level 4 Holy Shock, which allows you to basically do more damage onto enemies as well. So Uther was going for a little bit more damagey build than necessarily the repeated stun, the crowd control build from Tank Uther, but we can see the value that he was able to put out. Got a few good cleanses with that hand to protect there. Did go the Benediction. There is a bug with Benediction, but I did not see it being utilized in this game. Diablo, he went the auto attack build. Makes some sense. He's got Uther and Hogger all diving in. He's not going to be able to get to the Gul'dan, so wanted to just continually auto attack to get his healing as high as he can possibly get it. Get those auto attacks. And you can see he got a few Qs off overall, but yeah, I don't know the order of this draft. It'd be interesting to see. I'm pretty sure Ana was banned. Otherwise, I anticipate Ana would have been picked up. But maybe the double support wasn't picked up. Stukov may have been a first pick. Like, Stukov is really good on this map, but they just didn't have any anti-heal against a double support Gul'dan, which is pretty devastating there. So good game number 1 so far. Let me get that updated for everybody there. So Towers to Do, we don't know who it was picked by, but we do know that Spooky Ghosts were the one that won it. Let me get you back over to the map overview while I load up game number 2, which I believe, let me see where we're going for game number 2. It's going to be, it's Battlefield of Eternity. Hot dog. I love Battlefield of Eternity. So we are going to Battlefield of Eternity for game number 2. Battlefield of Eternity. I mean, the thing I love most about Battlefield of Eternity is the draft phase, which unfortunately we don't get to see in replays. But the draft phase is probably my absolute favorite thing, because there's so many different ways that teams can approach a Battlefield of Eternity draft. So looking at how these two teams are going to do, I mean, I anticipate we're going to see some race, but we could see a lot of bans for the race. LaCroix boys definitely went for a very heavy team fight comp in that game number 1, so maybe they're going to go with that again here in game number 2. And the side of Spooky Ghosts, I mean, double healer, not as good on a map like Battlefield of Eternity where you need a little bit more team fight, but you can set up under your own Immortal and just play for, the if we kill them all, then we don't need race, because we can just, it's easy to race against dead men. So we'll see what they elect to go for on the side of the Croix boys. But let me get you guys into this game number 2 so you can see what's going on. It is not that double healer on the side of Spooky Ghost this time. Let me get the pause coming out here so we can look at some of this stuff. But it's going to be the Sonya, May, Raynor, Greymane, and Lucio. Massive race coming outside the Spooky Ghost. And they got the Sonya to boot. So that's a huge draft, I think, coming out for Spooky Ghost. I don't know how the draft turned out, but to get Sonya, I mean, Sonya is one of those big early, big bruisers, like on the up in that S tier bruiser phase right now. She's just really good at everything, and she's she's usually that first pick or ban potential there. So Sonya is picked up by the side of Spooky Ghost, and they got the May to go with it. So Raynor, Greymane, both heavy burners. Lucio going to be able to speed everybody around, and a good answer to the Diablo and a good answer to the Imperious stun as well. Also with the Stukov silence at 13. So Lucio going to be able to high-five his team to victory. But we do see a Tychus picked up on the side of LaCroix boys. So Tychus is going to be able to shred down that May. Going to be able to disrupt that Sonya from when she tries to get into the back line a little bit. Imperious not going to have a good time against Sonya in that lane. That's going to be a heavy favorite for Sonya. Unless Imperious goes to the bot lane, they just do a Diablo, Imperious, Tychus bot lane, put Lunara up in the top lane. But Lunara definitely gets good vision potential on their team's side. She's going to be able to use that wisp to scout out some sneaky rotations, mainly by the Greymane, and also keep an eye on the enemy team when those Immortal phases coming out to see which direction the enemy team is going to be coming from. So never underestimate the power of the wisp. But definitely loving I just love the power picks that I see Spooky Ghosts coming out here on Battlefield of Eternity. Like, that is a very strong Battlefield of Eternity team. I'm shocked that they got all that. The Diablo was picked up again by LaCroix boys, so we'll see if the Diablo value can come out again. They don't have the Wombo combo as well in this game. They've got more pick potential. Single target Diablo, Imperius trying to lock it down for the Lunara and the Tychus there. But they do have good sustained healing coming out on their side. Diablo is not going to get as much value with the auto attack build in this map as he did in the previous map. And Lunar is really not going to be able to put on the damage until she gets to level 10 and gets that leaping strike. So we'll see how this one plays out. But let's get this underway and get these teams introduced. Looking at chat real quick. Silver Arrow coming in saying he hopes to see an Orphea. Silver, you're always looking for an Orphea. I'll cast Orphea when I cast the deep fried Ming Walls. That way I'll get to see some Orphea. Boundary, I like the spooky Mephisto. But let's get these games. Oh, Boundary's in this game. Greymane. Let's get these teams introduced on the blue side. We got them Spooky Ghosts. We got Boundary X on that Greymane. We got Kaleidos on. I said Kaleidos. Kaleidos on the Raynor there. We got Rogoth on the May, Little Wolf on the Lucio, and we got Eret Withak on the Sonya. Meanwhile, on the red side, we got the LaCroix boys trying to get a win here and go for that reverse sweep. We got Walter White on the Tychus. We got Striker 13 on the Diablo. We got Oni on the Lunara. We've got Baja Blaster on that Stukov. And in the base still, Harambe 2016 coming to join the rest of the team in the bot lane. We'll see how they elect to do this. It looks like Imperius is going to go into that top lane now. So that is going to be the Sonya advantage in the top lane. Plus, they got the Greymane on the time. So that's going to set up a lot of potential camp invades and camp value for the side of Spooky Ghosts as well. Just the immense amount of wave clear that Sonya's going to have, and then using the Greymane for some camp clears is going to be big. But in the bot lane, the 4v4 pretty much going to it's going to be pretty staggered back and forth unless Diablo does exactly that. Tries to find a fight, hits Little Wolf into a wall, but May says, no, I will not let you do that, you stupid Lord of Terror. Get away from me. Puts the blind down on to the Tychus to make sure he can't shred through her, and that is going to be waves picked out. But Diablo not done. He's sitting fairly low, but he's going to try and fight the May. Passive popped, and Diablo getting very low here, and that is going to be first blood going over to the side of Spooky Ghost. The stun actually landing onto the Lunara and the Stukov as well, but Diablo getting a little aggressive. Like we said, Diablo not the tankiest tank in the early levels. Doesn't have his souls up. Is going to take quite a bit of a beating, and Tychus is going to be able to gladly, Greymane and Raynor are going to be able to gladly deliver that beating onto the Diablo. They're looking for a potential camp invade here. I don't think they're going to get it. They want to make sure that they stay away from the May. And in the top lane, Sonya and Imperius going at it. It looks like the Imperius is actually having a little bit better of a time, but Sonya going to be able to just spin her health back to full with those minion waves, and that is why Sonya usually has that good matchup. She's got the sustain advantage against the Imperius and the wave push potential as well. But here we go. This is what I was talking about. They sent the Rainer instead of the Greymane, but because Sonya can provide so much pressure in these lanes, they can get these sneaky rotations with the Rainer or the Greymane, grab a lot of these camps, and that's just going to allow them to get more macro pressure, get their experience lead a bit higher. Diablo actually sitting fairly low. The pop from the Stukov using that bio grenade or the bio kill switch is going to be able to get Diablo healed up nicely. And that is going to be a lot of pressure in this top lane. Rainer actually going to park it up here for a little bit. Misses the penetrating shot, but the damage has already been done. Harambe very low on mana, very low on health. Doesn't have the tap available, it doesn't look like. And that means that that minion wave is going to get some pretty good value. It's just going to continue to siege it up. The tower is getting fairly low. Imperius can't do really anything against it there. And Rainer going to go ahead and get another camp for his team. And Sonya going to sit here. She can go right back against this Imperius. He's got to be very careful. Diablo, or sorry, his Tychus is now here. Misses the grenade. And now Sonya says, you missed the grenade. I'm going to come and fight you. Gets the spin, but does not have quite enough. Will she get the last size of... Oh, she does. And Sonya going to say, flex those muscles. You come in to gank me. I turn it around on you. And that is going to be a kill for the Sonya in the top lane. Big play. And more importantly, these minions are still here. They're still doing the damage. Big map pressure coming out of Spooky Ghost here in the early game. You love to see it. They're playing this comp exactly the way they should be. The rest of the LaCroix boys going to go over and try to get their minion camp, but this camp is already pushing all the way in. It's going to be at the towers there, and the Immortal is falling. So Spooky Ghost doing a very good job playing their map, but this is a great gank by Imperius and Tychus. Gets this impale. Tychus there to get the minigun, and that is going to be a kill for the side of LaCroix boys. Well done by the team catching out that Mei there. Mei getting a little too far forward, but the race is still there for the side of Spooky Ghost. They're gonna be able to get this down, although Lucio fairly low. He's got the bleed on him. Will he be able to heal it up? 36 does not, goes down, and also Greymane goes down. So the rest of the team getting a little overconfident, trying to get this burn onto this Immortal. So 2 more kills going over to the LaCroix boys. The Diablo getting that stun onto Lucio was absolutely critical. They will try to defend as best they can. They land the impale onto the Mei. Tychus going to put down some of his minigun damage there. Lunar going to be the one sent to burn. She's really the only one that's got damage. Tychus not known for his Immortal burn, and that's going to allow the rest of the Spooky Ghosts to get online, group up as 5, and then get back over and try to finish off this Immortal here. Diablo is just going to try and delay that as much as he can. Tychus getting a little far forward, get some damage down onto the Lucio, but all in all, this is going to be Sonya jumping in. The Immortal going to get burned down here. Now the fight is here. Lunar's not there, and Tychus is going to be the first to fall. Sonya very low, but unfortunately no mana on the Imperius means no impale, and now everybody on the side of the LaCroix boys on the run. The hunt is on. Lucio jumps in, gets a knockback onto the Stukov. That is going to be one dead Zerg man, I guess is what you would call that, or undead Zerg. Imperius now trying to run away, but Mei's going to try to make sure. Oh, Lucio getting the assist, throwing him back into the snowstorm, and now Diablo going to get away. Can Lucio get one more boop? Trying to get it, misses it. Oh, you saw it come out, but unfortunately wasn't able to land on the Diablo. But that is 3 big pickups by the side of Spooky Ghost, and now the Immortal going to push in this bot lane. Shield still online. Mei turning off the tower with the Slush Ball at 4, so she's going to make sure that tower does not throw down some shots on to this Immortal. Gonna continually throw down the Slush Ball. It's basically Sonya on, or not Sonya, Sylvanas on steroids there, and that is going to be the bottom fort already picked up. So big value coming in from the Slush Ball in this first Immortal phase, and the rest of the team continuing to push with this Immortal. Sonya actually rotated all the way down. She gave up a little bit of soak to try and get a little bit more pressure on this bot lane, and now we've got the Immortal beating down this wall. Not much more is going to be able to come of this, I don't think. Maybe get this last tower and then get out. Thankfully, they have the Lucio, so Lucio can just speed everybody away, and there's no way anybody can catch up with them. But that is a tower and a wall. Big first Immortal coming out of the side of Spooky Ghost. You thought for a second LaCroix boys, they did a good defense, but unfortunately they committed a little too heavy to the remainder of that defense. Tried to pick the fight, but the 4v4 went in, or I guess it was 5v4, went in favor of the side of Spooky Ghost. Lunara tried to get over there to help the team, but was not able to do so in time. Tychus just absolutely got blown up. And so this is, again, The side of Spooky Ghost just going back to their original game plan. Hey, we've got the Sonya, push it out, get the camps, and then use the map pressure to find the plays. May now on the hunt looking for it, keeping that Stukov from mounting up. Lucio should be able to just speed boost everybody up, get them close enough to the enemy team to get some sort of pick potential. But here we go. We got a rotation by the LaCroix boys. Diablo finds Sonya, gets a knock into the wall, gets the flip. Tychus is there to start the burn, but Stukov is not able to land the slow, so Sonya gets herself away, turns it around onto the Stukov, and that Stukov got obliterated by that very hungry werewolf. Now we've got Lucio going in deep here, gets flipped over by Diablo, may have saved the Lunara's life with that flip, and that is going to be a pickup by the side of Spooky Ghost. 10s are almost online for them, and they are looking to continue to push their advantage. Sonya gonna go pick up this camp. That'll give you the 10s. Actually, 10s came online already. Ice Wall being picked up by the Mei. Curse Bullet by the Greymane here. And the rest of the three still holding on. We got the Hyperion coming out from the Rainer. The last two members, the Lucio and the Sonya. It's a high five from the Lucio. I anticipate this is probably going to be a Wrath of the Berserker by the Sonya. It doesn't really have any target that she immediately wants to leap onto. She can get more value out of just being that. Oh, it is the leap. Excuse me. She's going to go the leap, maybe try to lock down the Stukov or the Lunara there instead of just trying to just bully her way through this front line with the Imperius. I mean, they've got so much damage already. Maybe they're just looking for a little bit more crowd control so Greymane can find a better target. But 10's now online for the side of the LaCroix boys. Odin popped by the Tychus, or picked up by the Tychus. Apoc by the Diablo. We've got the Angelic Armaments coming in from the Imperius. Felling Swipe for the Stukov and the Leaping Strike by the Lunara. Diablo going in. The Immortal's already dead. Diablo now trying to get away. The Ice Wall gets the Lunara there. The silence goes down. Curse Bullet hits the Imperius there, but Stukov so low, and Sonya able to leap onto that backline, gets one kill there. Angelic Armaments popped by the Imperius, but he's not going to get himself away. Sonya going to make sure that that is a second kill, looking for the third, but Lucio steals it with a smile on his face, and that is going to be Tychus trying to finish off the Mei. Unfortunately, Rainer not going to let that happen. That is a 5-for-1 pickup for the side of Spooky Ghost. Diablo only returning because he had his souls available. The rest of the team going to just siege up the keep here in the bot lane. They've got the Slush Ball from the Mei, so they can just turn it off anytime they want. Mei actually tried to find the Diablo, gets the stun, the knockback from the Lucio, the Curse Bullet lands, and that is going to be one dead Lord of Terror. Very, very squishy. They pick up the keep. The Immortal's just doing his own thing here in the top lane. The rest of the team going to rotate now up to the top lane and try and find some value for this second keep here. The minion ended up getting cleared out, but this is a very, very strong appearance by a very dangerous team on the Battlefield of Eternity. I mean, this is a very scary team comp being drafted. I was shocked when I saw it coming into the draft, and they are showing why. This thing is just insane with the amount of race potential, pick potential, and the engage potential coming out from the side of Spooky Ghost. Imperius trying to find that fight. The APOC goes down, flips the Greymane, and they are not able to... Oh, look at this Ice Wall coming out there. 3-man Ice Wall. Diablo trying to get the stun into the Ice Wall there. Greymane actually going to go down to the tower here, but another 3-man stun onto all members of the side of LaCroix, so it's a 2-for-2 right now. Mei getting big value with those blizzards, and also able to secure the kill with the Sonya Spear there. That is a 3-for-2 pickup, and this Immortal gonna continue to provide the value. I mean, it looked like that was LaCroix boys' fight to win. They got everybody where they wanted them. Imperius baited everybody in, but Mei just said, nah, nothing with that. Gets a 3-man Ice Wall, beautifully placed, and then the follow-up 3-man stun on top of it, and this shut down any potential play that the LaCroix boys were looking for there. So this is going to be, I mean, LaCroix boys, they're up against it. Backs to the wall, no keeps available, down 13 talent tiers. They need to get on 13s, and then they need to find some sort of fight that gets them in there, back into this game, gets that comeback experience going. Ideally, they want to wait and time it around the Immortal so they can pick an Immortal fight around it as well. You know, that's the ideal scenario, is just kind of farm up, wait for 13s, wait till the Immortals are being spawned in, and then find that pick. That'll allow them to at least get one of these two towers, get a little bit of relief on their keepless base with all these siege minions just constantly being pushed in the favor of Spooky Ghosts. but the side of Spooky Ghost doing an excellent job of just trying to keep these minion waves pushed out in front of the neutral zone, as I like to call it, the area between the two starting towers. Both teams just going to try and respond. The side of Spooky, or LaCroix boys, they have to answer this massive wave in the bottom. Spooky Ghost just going to rotate up, get this top underway, and it looks like we're going to have a camp pickup by the side of Spooky Ghost. Their camp is online. Maybe not. Maybe they're just going to go straight for the burn. Say, screw the camp. We want the burn. Sonya not there. Going to push out the waves a little bit more. LaCroix boys are here. And Spooky Ghost, they just have to stall. They really don't have to force anything. The minion waves are going to just collapse into Spooky Ghost base. They're eventually going to have to send somebody back. So the longer that LaCroix boys or Spooky Ghost wait. Oh, but the LaCroix boys, they're looking for it. They get the Sonya, they get the Spear, they get the Tychus Shred, and that is big. But holy shiza. That is a 4-man ice wall coming out from the Mei. Yet again, Diablo, the lone survivor of that ice wall, but he will die first. And now we've got the Spooky Ghost turning this one around. Big play by the Mei. Yet again, Lucio trying to get everybody to hunt down this Tychus. It's a 1-for-1 pickup so far. Diablo for a Sonya. And that looks like what Spooky Ghosts are comfortable with. They're like, you know what? We still got all these minions pushing into the base. As long as we just delay, we're doing fine. They pick up the camp, get a little bit more map pressure. Now they can go and just slowly chip away at this defense. Core is under attack. Diablo's here, but no. Lunara, you're just gone. The Cursed Bullet and the engage by the Greymane there absolutely devours the Lunara. Stukov will follow into Lucio, able to just keep that Greymane speed boost there. And now the Ice Wall coming onto 2 members. Unfortunately, nobody was there to follow it up. May's like, guys, trust my ice walls. I've been landing them all game long. Let's just go end this thing. And the rest of the team not getting the memo, saying, you know what, let's just get the Immortal and end it with the Immortal. So that means everybody will be online for the side of LaCroix boys. They will have a full 5-man defense, but I mean, it's going to be a 5-man defense against a very healthy Immortal. It's going to be a tough defense. They got to find a fight way outside their base, because if they wait for it to get all the way inside of their base, they're not going to be able to get this Immortal down. And here we go. Immortal picked up by the side of Spooky Ghost. Diablo hanging out. Needs to get a little more healthy. That is too low a health for the Lord of Terror. Sonya actually landing the leap onto the Imperius there. I was too busy paying attention to this low health Diablo, so Imperius just gets shredded by the entire team. They know that Diablo's there, so now they're just kind of waiting, stalling for time. Ice Wall going out. Does land on to the Odin there, and that is going to be another interesting. So that is an interaction I know has been talked about, unfamiliar. We'll talk about that here in a second, but that is 2 more kills being picked up by the side of Spooky Ghost, and that means that this is going to just be game 2. Going over to the Spooky Ghosts here, and that will mean they get the domination, and I believe that bumps them up from the 7-8 seed to like the 5-6 seed. I don't know where they're going to actually end this one at, but it gets them a couple places higher. And you know, based on the show they put on here, they are definitely coming together here in the second half of the season, or at least in this game. Like, that was a very impressive performance by the side of Spooky Ghosts here in these 2 games. We're doing an excellent job, especially in this game number 2. I mean, game number 1, they played that double healer comp very well, but game number 2, that is a very scary Battlefield of Eternity comp executed near perfectly by the side of Spooky Ghost, and it was just absolutely devastating for any team to go up against that. So playoff teams that go up against Spooky Ghost, you better watch out for BOE, because if they get that team again, it's going to be a very unpleasant game for you. But yeah, going back to that interaction there, so Tychus has the Unstoppable. The Unstoppable with the Commandeer Odin is allowing him to get through most crowd control effects, but the Ice Wall, I believe, is actually a stasis effect, not a hard crowd control, which means, because it says they are trapped heroes, so I believe it is a stasis effect similar to Chromie's time stop that can actually stop an unstoppable, like put them into a stasis, not actually crowd control, but put them into a stasis, meaning they will be interrupted. I think Leyline also does it, if I'm not mistaken, onto a Commandeer Odin. I'm not sure about that interaction from a Medivh, but it puts them into a stasis. They still come out unstoppable, so if there's any like hard crowd control to follow it, it wouldn't connect. but it does not. Unstoppable does not work against the stasis effect. So May able to get that ice wall onto the Tychus, even though he was mid animation for the Commandeer Odin. So nice play from the May, recognizing, hey, it doesn't matter. I can still get you in this ice wall, and the rest of the team just able to follow up and kill there. So big play coming in from the. I mean, that May played that map absolutely beautifully. I got to go take some notes for my own May play as well. Rogot doing an excellent job there, but not as much in the damage just because we were in a much shorter game there. But 21-6 is the kills. Looking at some of these talents, pretty standard stuff coming outside of both teams here. In the rhythm, actually picked up by the Tychus, so he wanted to go for more shred. I guess a longer shred, see if he could spread it over multiple different targets instead of going for the bigger they are, which would allow him to shred through the May very quickly. But they didn't have necessarily the follow-up burst damage. Leonard doesn't have enough to get value off that once Tychus gets him down to that 30% range. So yeah, I mean, Imperius going for burning the Impure at 1, Sovereign Armor at 4, and then getting more into that Impale Q build there. Sonya, I mean, look at this build. Seismic Slam is pretty standard from the Sonya, but she was able to just absolutely shred that Imperius in lane. And then when Tychus came up for that gank, it just took it back to him once he missed the grenade. That was awesome to see. Greymane actually go for the Wizard Duelist, or Wizened Duelist, going for the extra stacks that are lost upon death. Did he die? He died twice, so he did lose some of those sweet stacks. But yeah, that is it for this series. So it's a 2-0 victory for the side of Spooky Ghosts. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody that I can interview there for this game, but that is how playoffs are going to start. For the playoff season is going to start for me. I'm just going to try and fit in as many of these fun little replay casts that I can find throughout the rest of the season. I'm going to look for teams that may not have necessarily made the playoffs, just to give them something else to watch as the playoff season unfolds, to keep them involved as much as we can. And then, of course, going to be picking up as many playoff games as I'm allowed to. Really excited for the playoff season coming here in season 11. A lot of good teams. I'm hoping to park it back down in Division E like I did last season and get a majority of the Division E games casted. But there are some other divisions I've followed pretty closely this season as well. I've spent a lot of time in Division C. I'm in Division D, so I know a lot of teams just through that. And I've spent quite a bit of time in Division A as well. So as long as I can get one of those divisions and keep with it throughout the playoffs, I'm going to try and park it in one of those divisions and get as many casts just to be more familiar with the teams as they advance. So when we get to the finals, I'll have more to say about the teams than just, oh, it looks like they've had a pretty good season. But as for it for tonight, Boundary X, no problem. What a great game from your team. I'm looking forward to your guys' playoff runs for sure. I absolutely love casting, and good luck throughout the rest of your playoff season here. But that is going to be it for me tonight. I'm going to close out the stream now. Have a fantastic night, everybody. Thanks for joining. If you enjoyed yourself and want to catch a lot of the